So, why is my opinion of any relevance to you? Should it be of any importance to the way that you feel and the way that you live your lives? Maybe not. Honestly, I can't answer that. The decision is entirely yours. But if you feel the same as I do, which, as I've discussed, I believe a lot of you do, then you've got some kind of obligation to fulfill it, haven't you? Really. You believe what you want to believe, listen to who you want to listen to, act how you want to act. That's all fine, that's all okay, but think about the consequences of our lifestyle. Think about how many people in the world are suffering, and people are being oppressed, and people can't eat a decent meal. People literally living hand to mouth. I mean, I'm pretty much hand to mouth, but it's within a different spectrum. I've got friends and family that would help me. I live in a country where there is greater opportunity. My mother tongue is the most sought after mother tongue in the world, probably. I've got opportunities compared with a lot of people. My opportunities are numerous, but it still doesn't mean that my life's comfortable, and it doesn't mean that people in the country that I come from have a comfortable life. In some ways, these poor people living in indigenous tribes and things like that, or living in tropical third world countries, in some ways they have a better life than people in the West, because they don't have the obligations, and they haven't been brainwashed so much by materialism. Although it's coming, definitely there is a concerted effort to make everybody in the world the same, with the same demands and desires, and that's called globalization, which we've been sold as being a good thing, being a fantastic idea and for the benefit of everyone. And in some ways, yeah, it's great. Got a lot of advantages to it, but there are also disadvantages. There's simply too many people in the world to be living this way. So we do need to think about how we can make the world work better for everybody involved, not just the select few that profit from the current paradigm. So that's really the crux of what I'm talking about. That is the practical application of what I'm saying. If we realise that we are part of one giant whole, that giant whole is infinite consciousness, it is love, it is hate, it is everything, and we learn what it is and what our place is in it, and we learn how to control it for our own benefit, then we can change everything, and we won't have a situation like we have at the moment, where there's a select few people that can do whatever they want, buy whatever they want, kill whoever they want, while everybody else is suffering hand to mouth, because as I was saying a moment ago, before I got sidetracked again, even in the West, we're living hand to mouth. We're no more than like 2 months away from being on the streets. And what do you do when you're on the streets? You just search the bins for scraps, don't you? You find a warm place to live. We're basically back to the Stone Age, Modern living is basically no better than dog eat dog, but we wear nicer suits now, and we've got these little contraptions in our hands that are able to distract us from seeking a better world, basically, because we're constantly entertained. We are being amused to death, as a very good songwriter once said. And we're not paying attention to the way that we could be changing the world. And if we kind of accepted this idea that we are something greater than our individual selves, and we can make it work with a bit of simple communication, then we would just see the benefits. We would just see the benefits affecting everybody. As I say, it doesn't matter which God you believe in, or what you want to call it, or if you don't believe in anything. Just believe that you're part of everything, and we all are. And instead of living a life where we try to get one over on each other and try to control each other, we should be living a life where we try and help each other, where we assist each other, and we work out what's going to be most beneficial for everybody involved. And it's just a really, really simple concept. how could we do it? Well, I am going to talk about that, and if you're kind enough to continue listening, then hopefully we should be able to start considering some of the options, because they're just not being considered at the moment. We're just driven to distraction by the media and our own desires, and I'm not criticising anyone for that. Jesus Christ, I couldn't possibly criticise people for that, because it's completely the way that I have lived my own life. Completely controlled by my desires, selfish instincts that will allow me to have some kind of temporal enjoyment out of the life that I'm leading, but really, when we're all dust and bones, the spirit will remain, and the generations that come after us, they need something here that's worth living for, and or it's just going to get even worse. We all need that, because we will be those generations, that will be you again, just as you are here now, you will be here again. You might not look the same, you might not sound the same, you might not have the same opinions, but you will be comprised of the same atoms and powered by the same force. It will be the same thing, and that's just what I believe. And I just think that if people were able to approach life in this way, we'll be able to move towards something more positive, because we're having a very negative experience as human beings at the moment, where we're basically fighting for our survival, fighting to pay the bills, fighting to eat. As I was saying earlier, even people in the developed world, they in many ways have a harder time than people in the developing world. I mean, it depends what sort of country you live in, how what the weather's like, and what the price of fruit and vegetables are. But if you live in a country like the UK or the USA, and you're supposedly free, and you're supposedly got access to all kinds of luxuries, but you're struggling to buy your children a pair of shoes because it costs you almost a week's wages, you can't even guarantee yourself and your family a place to live away from the elements, because you're forced to pay rent, extortionately priced rent, and you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to eat, because the cost of food, the cost of everything is just going up and up all the time. We need to stop this pattern. We need to reverse the trend. We need to move towards a situation where people don't have to worry about paying for food and accommodation, and that probably sounds quite ridiculous to some of you, but I am going to explain how that can work in a future video. I'm just setting the scene right now that the things I've been rambling on about in my previous videos do have a practical application. It's not just about getting in touch with your spirituality. Getting in touch with your spirituality is the first step of creating a truly beneficial society for the inhabitants of that society, and not just a select few that basically operate society as though we're like cattle or batteries, because that is what's happening now. That's plain to see. The notion of any kind of debt in the world is evidence of that, and I don't think much more evidence is necessary. So this can be reversed, and it can be changed, and it can be done quite simply. It may not happen immediately, but we need to work towards it. We need to have a goal